Hey, how's it going, YouTube? I'm back in the video, and today I'm going to be talking about how the Portland Trail Blazers were able to dominate the Oklahoma City Thunder and how they were able to win in only 5 games when a lot of people projected OKC to actually win this series. How did Portland, Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum actually manage to end up beating the Thunder the way they did? I'll be getting to all that into this video, so without further ado, without rambling on too much, let's get right into this video. Alright, so for my first reason in this video is going to be that they're making the offense very tough on Russell Westbrook and Paul George. As I mean, throughout the entire series, they were forcing Westbrook to shoot threes and outside shots. They were not letting him in the paint. And when you can prevent Russell Westbrook from going into the paint and driving into the paint and slashing the way he does, you have a very good chance at shutting him down. As Westbrook is not the best shooter, but when he gets in the paint, he is almost unstoppable, especially when he gets that head of steam, as he's one of the most athletic and fast guards in the entire league. But we know that he can't shoot threes. It's on the year he has shot 29% from 3 on the entire year, and during the series he only shot 30% from 3. So he was not a good three-point shooter even in the playoffs this year at all. So I mean, the Trailblazers knew that, which is why they forced him to take a whole bunch of threes and stuff. And we know that this has been an effective strategy, as in the playoffs, what he has done so far, he has shot 35 shots from 16 feet and less, and he has made 17 of them at 50%. So when he's shooting shots 16 feet and less, he's very efficient, making at least 50% of them. But when he shot 16 feet or more or above, he has shot 36 of those shots and has only made 10 at 27%. So we have seen that they are forcing him to take a lot of shots outside, which is forcing him to miss a lot of those shots at only 27%. That is a very, very inefficient rating. So I mean, with all that being said, obviously the strategy is to, okay, we're going to give Russell Westbrook the threes and the deep shots. We're going to give him those. We're going to live with him if he makes it, because he's most likely not going to make it. But I mean, what we're not going to do and what we can't live with is letting him drive. So that's pretty much what they did. They completely stopped letting him drive, and which is a big reason why Russell Westbrook struggled so much during the series. But another reason I succeeded in guarding Paul George, who was for one part of the season was considered an MVP candidate and one of the best scorers in the entire league for a while. And the way they were able to stop him, despite on the year he was averaging 43% from the field and 38% from the three, a very efficient scorer and a very good scorer. How did they start doing it? Well, I mean, during this series, he shot 45 shots from 16 feet and above, and he only made 15 of those, as they took advantage of his hurt shoulder. Now, yes, I mean, that's not Paul George's fault that he had a hurt shoulder, but they're still taking advantage of it, forcing him to take those outside shots. And I mean, those outside shots were not falling, as he only made 30% of those shots from 3 or 16 feet and above. And then all the shots that he shot from 16 feet, they were also very, very bad, as he shot 19 of those and he only made 5 at 26%. So I mean, they were really taking advantage of Paul George's shoulder. They're letting him shoot all the jump shots he wanted. They just were not going to let him in the paint, as I mean, the majority of the shots in this series came from 16 feet and above, or the 3-point line, and he was not very efficient at all making those. So with that bum shoulder, plus Russell Westbrook just not being able to go in the paint and not getting able to go in the groove of his offense, it really did hurt them, and that was a big reason why they were able to make the offense so hard and so tough on both Paul George and Westbrook. And since there's literally no other knockdown shooters on the entire team outside of Paul George, they really didn't have to focus on anyone else. So they were able to really expose and match up very well against the Thunder. But now my second reason for how they were able to dominate the Thunder so much is going to be pretty much to the matchups. As I mean, Damian Lillard and Russell Westbrook, they're pretty much even at this point. I still think Russell Westbrook's an elite point guard. A lot of people are saying he's past his prime or whatever, but I still think he's an elite point guard in this league, and I think Damian and Russell Westbrook are pretty much on the same level and about the same level player. And CJ McCollum and Andre Roberson. CJ McCollum is actually one of my favorite players, and yes, he is a better player than Andre Roberson. But I mean, that is, it's not a new leaps and bounds better, but he is better, and he's a much better scorer. I mean, he can actually shoot the ball. He's a very good scorer. So, I mean, CJ McCollum had the lead over there. So, pretty much they're in the lead right now. And, yes, Paul George is way better than Maurice Harkless. That's not even a question. But that's pretty much the only blowout matchup they have. As, I mean, when you have Aminu, who has been killing Grant all series defensively, he's really just been that role player. He's been like that Patrick Beverley type player for the Portland Trail Blazers through the entire playoff so far. And he has really done very good. He's outplayed your Grant by a lot all series. He's done a lot better. And now y'all might be like, well, Steven Adams against in this Kanter. Steven Adams is a better player. Now, yes, he is, but Enes Kanter knows how to play with Steven Adams, and they did play for each other on the same team for a long time, and they were very close friends. So, I mean, Enes Kanter and Steven Adams are a pretty even matchup, and Enes Kanter's a better scorer than Steven Adams, so really, that's a pretty even matchup as well. So, when you look at it, the Portland Trailblazers actually match up better, and plus their bench is a little bit better as well. So, I mean, the Portland Trailblazers match up better against OKC than OKC matches up against Portland. But basically, for enough of the video, I'm going to recap pretty much how they did everything. They made the offense tough by forcing Westbrook to take outside shots, as he's been inefficient at that all year, and he forced him to take it, and he just still wasn't efficient during the playoffs. And they took advantage of Paul George's hurt shoulder, as they were able to make him shoot a whole bunch of outside shots despite his shoulder being hurt, and he was not able to make them due to that. And, I mean, their matchups just didn't favor them as well. So that's how I think Portland Trailblazers actually did dominate OKC in the first round. And now, before you do jump down my throat, as this isn't in the video, before you do jump down my throat and say I'm just a Portland fan, Damian Lillard fan, Russell Westbrook hater or anything like that, no, Russell Westbrook is one of my favorite players. I like Paul George, I like the Thunder, but I'm actually a New Orleans Pelicans fan, and I'm just going to make the videos on what I see. So I'm not a fan of either one of these teams. I don't hate either one of these teams. I don't hate any players on these teams. I'm just saying what I see. So that's pretty much what I saw, and I want to hear your comments in the comment section below. Do you think Portland absolutely dominated? Were you expecting this? I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you did, leave a point, like button, and subscribe button, it would mean the world to me. And I hope you have a blessed day. Can I have a blessed day? So you need to have a blessed day. See you in the next video. Goodbye. Boo. Blah, blah, blah.